Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and in this episode I will be covering how to make a basic tool from scratch, scripted, and then how to buy said basic tool in a GUI shop. I just started my winter break from school. I'm gonna try to upload as much as I can during this break. So yeah, we shall begin. So first, tools. Tools are cool because you can do things with them. I'm gonna assume you have basic understanding. You know what a tool is. It's a thing that the player equips and uses, like a sword or a gun or a nuclear device. So if we go to the toolbox, we can type sword. We find the linked sword. And this is the starter pack, is where all the tools that the player spawns with goes. So every tool you put in the starter pack, no matter what, the player will spawn with them. So when we spawn in, I have the sword, but again, so the way tools work is to start, we'll put in a tool object. This is just completely empty, it's nothingness. So here we can see we have the grip settings, the tool tip, and some other things. The grip is really annoying because when you make the model for the tool, this is the positioning for how the player holds it, and I think it's really confusing. The tool tip is, so let's name this, let's make what will we make? We will make hamburger. So this is the name. This is the thing. If you don't have a thumbnail for your tool, if you don't have an image for your tool, it will just show its name as text on the icon, and now it's gonna say hamburger. The tool tip, I'll change this to yum yum hamburger, and now when we spawn in, as you can see, we spawn with this empty tool. And when we highlight our mouse over it, it says yum yum hamburger. That's what the tooltip is. Right now when we select this, it holds nothing. There's nothing. We can archivable is nothing. Can be dropped. If you press backspace on your keyboard, it drops the tool. So if you just enable this or disable it, it's just whether you can drop it or not. Requires handle is just if it only works if it has a handle. And the handle is the thing itself, the thing that the tool is, the model of the tool. So if we put in a part, we just get this random part. Let's make it handle sized, and we have to call it handle. And now when we stick it in here, the tool will look for the part called handle, and that will be the handle of whatever your tool is. So we equip this. We're now holding this. So we could make this more handle-like to fit in the player's hand. I'll just make it a bit smaller, and I'll just do this, and we can make it smooth. And now we stick this back in, and the player should somewhat hold it in properly. Yes. So it's kind of clipping through our hands, and that's what the grip is. Future Happy Hamoud here, editing the video. I did a bad job explaining this part, so I'll just say it again. The tool grip is used to position where the handle fits in to the player's hand, but when we're completely honest, I have no idea how it works. I don't know. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. So instead, I'm gonna be showing you guys an alternative way to do it, which is, it's basically the same thing, but it's just like a different way, because I don't know the other way. Yeah, what I do instead of positioning the handle to fit into the player's hand, so now I know I know what the handle is and how it's being held. So now, what I do instead, until I actually figure out what the grip, how it works. Let's put a decal in this. Let's get a decal instead. And we'll set the decal to be on the front position. So that so we can see where the front is. Here, set the front. So this is the front of the handle. So if we put this back here, we should see that appear on the very front. So that's the front. So what I do, so we know that it's slightly clipping inside of the player's hand. So I'll take the handle, I will duplicate it, and we'll just call this part, and then we can remove the decal. And then now I have two handles. I'll set the actual handle to be invisible, and I'll just move this slightly to the right, and then put it inside the handle. We can weld them to each other as well. You could weld the fake handle to the invisible real handle, or you could just put a Q perfection weld inside the real handle. Because if you're gonna have a tool, like, it's probably, I mean, if you're making the model from scratch and not using meshes, it's probably gonna have a lot of parts. And what a Q perfection weld is, you can find it in the toolbox. It's a script that automatically welds everything inside the part to the part, so it just makes life easier. So we're gonna use a Q perfection weld. Well then, now we put this here, and now when we hold this, there you go. This is, now you can see the fake handle. The real handle is still here, but the fake handle is what we see, and that's what the part looks like. So let's say we're gonna make this hamburger. The player can eat it, and it will give him 50 health. Okay, so this is simple. It's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. We will not anchor it, because if you anchor it, then once you equip the tool, you just won't be able to move. We'll set it so that it can't collide. And then this is our actual handle. Let's, put it in. And let's change the orientation so that we can hold the hamburger properly. We remember what it looked like in the player's hand. And then we'll stick this into here. We can remove the decal for that. And you want to set this to not be able to collide. I mean, you can set the parts in the tool to have collisions, but it's, unless you're doing like a specific thing where you want the player to like be able, like if you have like a huge stick going outward like this, it will get like stuck on things. And unless you want to do something where the tool the player is holding will be interacting with physics object and stuff, normally we'll just set everything in the tool to not have collisions. Now we'll stick this back in our starter pack. And when we equip it, he's holding the hamburger. So now let's do the scripting, So let's put a script. We don't need the toolbox. Let's put a script in here. We can call it, you can call it what you want, but we'll call it tool-script, because this is the script that's just gonna handle everything for this tool. So if we go to events, we have these blocks: tool equipped, tool unequipped, tool activated, tool deactivated. This is pretty simple. I mean, it's simple. I mean, it's straightforward. When the tool equipped is talking about when you equip the tool. This is talking about when you unequip the tool. This is when you click, and this is when it's done. Like, this is when you use the tool, when you click and it uses the tool, and this is when it's done being used. This one, you don't really need to use it that much. So let's say, so for example, just for simplicity, we'll just plop every single one of these in. Tool activated, tool deactivated. And so the tool itself, right now, it's script.parent. If we do this, this is talking about the tool, not the handle, the tool. So it's script.parent. So we can just paste this into all of these because they all use the same object path. And so now we have all the basic tools, and just to see what they're doing, so we'll for the tool equipped, we'll say tool equipped. For this one, unequipped, we'll say tool un-equipped. For tool activated, we'll say tool activated, and then for tool deactivated, we'll say tool d-activated. This is just for representation, just to show you what everything does. So when we spawn in, when we equip the tool, this is our output, we'll see our things we print. When we equip the tool, tool equipped. When we unequip the tool, tool unequipped. When we click, tool activated and deactivated. That's, if I hold down my mouse, it's tool activated. Now I'm gonna let go of my mouse, tool deactivated. So we're gonna make it so when you click the tool, the player's gonna gain 50 health, maybe play a sound effect, and the tool's gonna be gone because the player ate it. So we'll go over to our tool activated. We could just delete these because we're not using them, but I'm not gonna because future reference. So we can go here, and so tool activated. So you could do a bunch of stuff. For example, we could say create an object when the tool is activated. We could create a part in the workspace. And now when we click with the tool, random parts appear in the workspace. We could make it so that this is not what the tool's doing. I'm just giving you examples of what you could do. You could say when you equip the tool, we could say when you equip the tool, you die. You could break the joints of the player. So in this case, when you're holding the tool is gonna be inside the player. When you're not holding it, it's gonna be in the player's inventory. But so when you activate, in this case, when you activate the tool, let's just, okay, wait, this is a better idea. We're gonna, when we're activating the tool, we can only activate it if we already have it equipped. And if we have it equipped and we're holding it, that means the tool, when you're holding the tool, it's inside the player. When you unequip it, it goes back into the player's inventory. We can see an example of this if we get a zombie, just a random guy, and we could get a sword, I guess, just to show you, and we put this in the zombie, and then we run the game. The zombie is holding the sword there. We could put our hamburger in the zombie as well, and he'll be holding it. But he says, you can see when it's equipped, it's inside the player like that. So now that we know that, we can go back to our tool script, and let's say if you remember this thing, this is the zombie, but he doesn't have a humanoid, and until he gets his humanoid, he's just nothingness. Let's make it, when you click with this tool, it's gonna delete the player's humanoid. Just again as an example. So we can find the player by doing script.parent, that's the tool, and then .parent, the parent of the tool, in this while it's being activated is the player. So we don't want to destroy the whole player. We can destroy the parent's humanoid. So it will destroy the humanoid of the player. And then now when we go here and we click with the tool, our humanoid is gone, and now we can't control it. We can't do anything. So yeah. So now that we know that, let's say we wanted to heal the player. So if we wanna, so what we're doing is we're changing the player's health. We're adding to his health. So what we would wanna do is we wanna check how much health the player currently has. We wanna add 50 to that number, and then we wanna get, so I'm breaking out the notepad here to explain this. So what we're doing, this is gonna come in handy knowing this with a bunch of other stuff. But so let's change this to okay. So this is scuffed, but whatever. So what we're doing is we're gonna get player's health equals, let's say the player's health is 100. We'll call this HP. We're gonna get, so what the script is doing is it's getting the HP, it's adding 50 to the HP, and then it's gonna get the output of that as new HP, and then it's gonna set HP to new HP. So let's say your HP is 100, so then this would be 100 plus 50 equals 150. Then it would change 100 to 150. I really hope that makes sense, but that's what we're gonna be doing. So that's what we're gonna be doing. That's how we're gonna add 50 to the player's health. So we're gonna get the player's current amount of health. So the player is script.parent.parent, and then the player's health is stored in the humanoid. So parent.humanoid, and we'll get his health. We'll output this as HP. So the humanoid, as we saw in that one zombie, if we just get a random zombie again, the zombies are basically similar to players the way they function. This is the humanoid. Humanoids are just like the function of the character. Without the humanoid, there's no health, there's no he's nothing. He's nothingness now. So in the humanoid, it stores all the player's things, like his health, the jump power, how high he can jump, his max health, and his speed, how fast he walks. Health is what his health is currently. Max health is when your health slowly regenerates over time. This is the maximum. So if you set this to 50, it then if I press enter, now you can see that this is the red is the full health, is the continuation. The red is what's missing. It's simple video game stuff, right? So but then if we set the max health to 50, then it's 50 out of 50. He has full health now. If we set this to 100 again and then 100, he has full health. So we're getting the current amount of health. We're gonna do HP, which is the variable that we stored for the current health, HP plus 50, and we're gonna output that as new dash HP. Then we're gonna set the players, the script.parent.parent.humanoid. We're gonna set his health to the variable we just made called new dash HP. So we can move this down to the bottom now. So now when the player activates the hamburger, it's gonna get how much health he currently has and output that as HP. It's gonna add 50 to HP, and the result will be called new HP, and it's gonna set his health to new HP. So now let's It's not going to be very noticeable because we won't be able to see our health. Okay, we can print. Let's print how much health the player has. So to make this easier to understand what's happening when we actually do it, without having to just constantly check the humanoid again. We'll get how much health the player has, and then we'll print HP. Then we're gonna add the 50 to it and call it new HP, and then we're gonna print the variable of new HP. And then yeah. So now when we spawn in, we have the hamburger. When we click, so we had 100 health, then it changed it to 150 health. There we go. If we, for example, we do this again, and this zombie, let's let him damage me. You see my health bar is going down now. You see my health bar is going down. So now if I click this, it's going up. Now I can just click this like a bunch of times right now, which I'm not supposed to be able to do. What the? Anyway, so we want it. So now that that's done, let's make it so that when you eat the hamburger, it deletes itself. So that you can't just, you could make it. First, I'll show you how to make the hamburger delete itself, and then why not? I'll show you guys how to make it so that you can only use it like, let's say 5 times until it's done. Once you take 5 bites of the hamburger is entirely in your belly. So we'll destroy. It's the tool. So now when we use it, after it heals us, it will go bye-bye. It's gone. So let's say you want to only be able to use this thing 5 times before it deletes itself. So we'll move this away. Let's put a value, an integer value, which is number value, which is a value only numbers can go in the value. If I do letters, it doesn't work. So we'll keep it at, let's say, 3 by default, and we'll call this uses. So now before it does anything, it will only when you activate this the tool, it's only gonna do all this if we'll get the value of uses, and we'll call it uses, and then it's only gonna do all this stuff if the variable of uses is greater than a number of 0. So as long as we have more than 0 uses left, it does this stuff. So that's now it should still perfectly work. If we go in game, oh, this didn't work. I forgot to type this in. We're gonna get the object, which is uses, and then we're gonna get its value. I just forgot to type that. And then now when we go in game, when we click this, it still deletes itself. It still works though, because we have more than 0 uses. Let's remove the delete thing at the end, because it's not gonna delete itself unless it has 0 uses. So then, after it does all this, it's gonna subtract 1 from uses. So it's gonna subtract, it's gonna do uses. We already have this variable in the top, and we'll subtract 1. We'll call this new dash uses. It's basically the same thing as the health, but the opposite. And then we will set uses to we'll set its value to new dash uses, and then now when we do this, let's add this. Okay, I'm low on health now. I click this, it works once. I'm gonna let the zombie hit me again. It works again. It works one more time. That's 3. And now I'm clicking, as you can see here. It's not working anymore. So now we can only use the hamburger when it has enough uses. But let's make it so that if it doesn't have enough uses, it doesn't just not work. It's gone because you ate. Because the way we're doing with this tool, it's a hamburger. You take one bite, you take a second bite, you take a third bite, and now there's no more hamburger. You ate the whole thing, you know. So we're gonna say if we're gonna move this like this. We're gonna say if uses is equal to 0, it will destroy the hamburger. And then we can print tool activated again. Well, we can print hamburger no more. So now let's go in game. Why did I forget to... It printed it anyway. Did I forget to connect the block? Yeah. Okay. So now we can click once. It worked. We can click again. It worked. We can click again. And it worked again. We can click one more time. Hamburger no more. Nice. Awesomeness. I'm not sure if the print is working properly. Let me test something. Now we have right here. Health is currently 100. So take a bite. Health is still 100. I think it only works because I think it doesn't succeed the max health. That's just a built-in thing. We would wanna. Oh, yeah, why is he so fast? Okay, I think it's only healing us if we have missing health, which is perfectly fine. Like if we're already at full health, it's not gonna give us more, I think. But that's just a built-in game feature. That's not the thing with the script. So yeah, nice. We did it. You could also make it play sounds and stuff. It's just, you know, kind of simple. You just put that play sound at the end and stuff. So now the video is over. If you guys have any questions, you could say it in the comments and stuff, or you could ask me in my Discord server, which I set up a few weeks ago, because I realized that for some reason YouTube deletes some of your comments, which I thought was just a scam tactic people use to get you to subscribe, but no, apparently it's real. That's stupid. So I hope you guys learned something from this, I guess. I'm still, like I said earlier in this video, I recorded a bunch of things during my winter break, which at this point, while I'm talking now, future Happy Mood talking is is in 2 days, but I'm still editing the other episodes, so I should. It's not gonna take like 6 million months for me to upload the next episode again. Okay, so hope you guys learned something. Bye bye.